Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB, ready to rock and roll as we are ending our month of March. It's March 31st, 2025. It is a Monday. We are ready to rock. But we are moving from a due month to, guess what? Another due month. So we're not checking yet. Just stay with your plan. If you're new, make sure you get your mission and your vision in place and just go slow, step by step. Really critical. We don't want to be all over the place. We just want to take it step by step. So right now we're in a due month. So we're leaving a due month, going to another due month. Means if you've been with me for a while, every December, we spend a whole month getting that yearly plan together, and then we come out of January, we check it a little bit in February, March, right at that beginning page, and then we just get into March and April and we do what we need to do. And as I mentioned before, last year's when I got into marathon training, and April 27th of next month is when I'm going to run the marathon. A few more weeks, and we'll see if I can do that 3:30. I'm going to put the positive out there and say I will. Excited you're with me today. Remember our morning ritual? I got to say it every day. I try to do every day. Some days I forget. But we want to take time for self-care. Listen to the Coach Cast. Get here. Rock and roll with us. Organize the day with your planner, or if you're using paper and pencil, whatever you're using, right? Let's get organized using those 7 Ps. Have the proper perspective, set those priorities, get the performance better, have patience, keep great posture, stay present, and persist. Okay? Really important as we're rocking and rolling. And I would also say, we always say stop by the community for accountability questions and support. I would tell you to stop by the website because there's so much going on. We've had great longevity meetings that are starting with Dr. Paul, really awesome stuff. We got a great community up there. We've got a new AI area where we're adding videos, just constantly talking to people. What are they using? Putting up resources. Really amazing place to go. And you look in the news, and as a member, you're going to see things that are going on, not to mention the meetups. Now, I know the meetups been a little weird with the time because everybody's time changed in the United States, but I think we've got them pretty much scheduled in, especially the consistent ones. So you'll want to check the meetup area and come by and see us. Love to have you see us. And if you're just rocking the Coach Cast and rocking the system, that's cool too. But I'm really working hard to make this the best we possibly can. And the reason and the way we can do that is community, right? Everybody coming together, telling me your ideas so we can share them with others. But glad you're with me today. Really excited about this month. April is our month that we talk about finance, money, the system, prosperity consciousness, and wealth. I love this topic. I love this month. And it leads me right into May, June of ILD. And we're going to talk a little bit about that on Friday, but it's my baby. It's what I love to really work on is to take your knowledge. We're a productivity system, right? And typically, look, November, December, January, February, it's all about productivity. Then people start waiting a little bit, and that's why we move to the expertise area to help you solidify your expertise. So this is an ongoing system. It's evolving. Things are changing. AI, we brought that in. There's all kinds of stuff happening. So you just got to engage a little bit in the areas that you're going to get value. Okay, or listen to Coach Cast, obviously, because I'm going to tell you things that are going on, stopping by the website and utilizing the resources and the wonderful community we've put together so we can build together. It's a lot of fun, and you don't have to do this every day. That's one of the main things is we don't want to overwhelm. We just want to give you the resources, right? And so all you got to do is plug in, and we're going to give you some ideas and thoughts, and then it's just about using the Sacred Six and going, okay, what don't I do and what do I want to do as we make those life changes? A lot of fun, all right? So again, this week, we're going to talk about prosperity. We're going to talk about moving from lack to prosperity. This was a huge topic years ago. When I started Morning Coach and we were doing metaphysics and really getting to the depth of manifesting money and prosperity and lifestyle, this was one of our biggest topics. I mean, people came from everywhere. And now that we've kind of expanded more, right? And we're getting a lot of corporate, we're getting a lot of business owners and a lot of CEOs and a lot of people doing different things. It's not as a big a topic, but I still love it. I think it's something that we can help each other do. And I don't know anybody that can't use more money. Right? Maybe you're financially independent. I know we have a few people on here that have just killed it. Hey, just a quick interruption, JB. If you want ad-free Coach Cast, work with us every day. This is our Monday Coach Cast. jump over to morningcoach.com, click the join button. Love to have you be a part of our community. You don't get these ads. You get the CoachCast every single day. The ILD area, the longevity area, the AI area, the Morning Coach area, and so much more by being a member. Love to have you over there. Head over to morningcoach.com. Get signed up today, and that way you don't have to hear these ads, and you can be a part of this wonderful, wonderful community of people from around the world as we're bringing you wonderful systems that are evolutionary. Remember, this is not a course. This is an evolutionary system that's literally updated daily. You're not going to find this anywhere else. So head on over to morningcoach.com and get signed up. But at the end of the day, most people can use more money. So I want to talk about getting out of lack into prosperity. And also, very important, I know we're talking about finance, money, the system's prosperity, but if you don't talk about health with prosperity, we're missing the boat. Because if you're not healthy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We want to have health. Health is wealth, and we're going to make sure we're doing that. Okay, so our weekly theme this week is moving from lack to prosperity. Our book study is a really interesting book. It's called The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness. So it's a really interesting book that's a New York Times bestseller, and we'll get into that tomorrow by Morgan Housel. And it's really a basic, we're going to do a 4-week study on foundational mindset shifts and simple takeaways. That's our game plan. So we'll go over some details tomorrow, get you into the book and let you know, and then our next month book is going to be Rich Relationships with Selena, which is a really good friend of mine, and I can't wait to introduce you to this. Those of you in the International Inner Circle, this is going to be mandatory reading because it's how do we build relationships that really work for us, and just it's going to be mandatory. So I just want you to read that book. So we've got Psychology of Money, Rich Relationships coming up, so we got some great books coming up. Wednesday, we have Prosperity and Manifesting Ideas. How do you allow money into your life? Okay, so we're going to get a little deep on Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to talk about, which I get questions about, is investing ideas. I'll talk a little bit about some investing platforms and some ideas on Thursday. Friday, we've got ILD lifestyle and looking for problems and having fun. So I'm going to discuss some things about ILD as we slowly trickle into the summer that you can start doing that are going to add to your life as you solve problems and you create expertise. And you really create not only money and financial gain, but also just this wonderful experience of helping others. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. And we'll go over that Friday. Do not miss Friday. Of course, Dr. Paul has been bringing us just wonderful information, just deep, deep stuff on longevity and health. And unfortunately, like a few people said in our longevity meeting, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to do this, this, and this, because he's always bringing great ideas. Again, don't get overwhelmed even on the health stuff. Just know we've got a wonderful resource in Dr. Paul teaching us. And like everything else, in the meeting, he had a great point. He said, just pick one thing and work on it for 3 months. And all of a sudden, it's just like Sacred Six, right? We can't do everything. So maybe it's get your blood work and work on one thing. Again, I'm not a doctor. Maybe that's what Dr. Paul would suggest. But the idea is to keep it simple, even with health. Okay? And then Sunday, it's the springtime. April showers bring Mayflowers, right? So we want to do this thing and have fun. You want to hear an elementary education joke that I learned? April showers bring Mayflowers. What does June bring? You can use this with your kids. It's actually horrible. April showers brings Mayflowers. What does June bring? The Pilgrims from the Mayflower. Dun-dun-dun. Yeah, I know that was horrible. But I learned that in elementary school. It's just, hey, some terrible humor, but hey, we're starting the week off. Let's have some fun. All right, let's get into it. So it's Monday. Let's get the energy up. Let's pump it up. Let's turn it up a little bit and get after it. And we're focused on finance and prosperity consciousness. And the focus today is how do we move from a mindset of lack to one of prosperity? In all areas of our life. We're organizing our minds and lives today around abundance. There's plenty. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first problem we have is the vibration of lack. Lack isn't just financial, and this is really important. And this is one of the things about Morning Coach that I think is really important. When you come to Morning Coach, and I try to do my best at this, is I want you to leave with some energy. I want you to feel the energy that comes through the speakers. And honestly, that's why I love audio, Because if you're listening through your earphones, it's so much better. We have this intimate relationship that if I've got you watching a video somewhere. But if you're listening to this, even if you're sitting at your desk, it's coming through your speakers and you're hearing it. And it's the ability to have that energy, to push that energy through is so important. So lack isn't just financial, it's energetic. It shows up in language, thoughts, and actions. So we got to look at this. And the signs of scarcity thinking are comparison, worrying over bills, hoarding, and guilt about spending. So if you're feeling those things, those are very low vibration activities. And what we need to do is we need to reframe through organization. And we want to understand that when we feel disorganized, lack creeps in. Again, why is Morning Coach so important and the things that we're doing? I have ideas, a lot of them. We can transform lives through those ideas. But why did I write the Sacred Six for Hay House? Why did Reed Tracy ask me that? Why did we build the Get It Done Now planner and now the longevity planner? Because the more structured you are, the more you feel in control, which allows you to do things. And it's not about planning. It's about getting away from disorganization, okay? And it's about slowing things down and having certainty when you wake up that you're making progress towards your dreams. You're making progress towards the things you want to accomplish. You're making progress in helping others. It's a forward momentum. And sometimes you get big growth, and sometimes it's just a baby step. And sometimes you fall right on your face. But we need to stay structured. So we want to organize our thoughts. And this is really critical that you journal or you brain dump or you seek clarity. Again, one of the things I've been talking about is analog. It's been big to me. If you've seen some of the stuff that I've done in the site that I've talked about analog and the peg and all, I spent $160 on that based on Peter McKinnon's recommendation, getting into the markers, being a little creative, letting my right side flow. It's helping my brain. When your brain's going a million miles an hour, sometimes it's great just to open a book or a page and write with a great pen. And it just makes a difference. Now, I love my Remarkable. I love my electronic stuff, but it doesn't replace that. And what am I trying to do? Organize my thoughts. So once you organize your thoughts by journaling, brain dumping, clarity, then we want to organize your environment. Clutter blocks abundance. It blocks it. I've said this a lot. Nature abhors a vacuum. So we want to clean things. We want to let things go. It's one of the things that I see so many people struggle with. Again, I don't know Feng Shui. We talked about it last week. I don't know anything about it. But there is ways that you can set things up, right? Some people are really into that. There's Feng Shui experts. For me, just having things organized, clean, in a good place. And I'm not really OCD, but I am because I like things to be where they need to be. I like my desk to be clean and simple. It's just more productive that way than having clutter everywhere. Okay, so we want to understand that clutter blocks abundance flow. And prosperity is a state of being. So prosperity consciousness is not what you have, it's what you believe. If you're writing down notes today, please write that down. Prosperity consciousness is not about what you have, it's about what you believe. So you want to shift your language from I can't afford to how can I make this happen? Prosperity begins with appreciation. Gratitude is prosperity practice. So one of the biggest issues we see all over the world is everybody's focused on what they don't have instead of what they have. I know that's a reoccurring theme here on Morning Coach, but it's so important because I know I struggle with it. I start looking around and going, what don't I have? And I start feeling that anxiety and that stress that I need things. What do we really need? And you need to step back to that, okay? So what are some practical tools to move from lack to prosperity? Well, tool number 1 is a 7 P's reminder. Prioritize prosperity-based thinking. That's what we do every morning, okay? Those 7 P's. It's really important metaphysically and practically that we are using this tool properly. It's a reminder to get your prioritization in order. Tool number 2 is a second brain. So you want to capture and release money worries into a system like a planner or budget apps. Maybe you use Notion if you're really left brain. We've got so many wonderful people. I talk about Jurgen and John putting a second brain system together, but there's so many people doing wonderful things within the community. What is your second brain? Do you have a place? I use Apple Notes and I also use ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT more and more, and you can go into the system and look at how I'm using it for all my marathon training and all my data collection. It really works. And then circadian rhythm notes, meaning prosperity comes when your energy is aligned. Rest and rhythm matter. When are you going to bed? We were in our meeting and Dr. Paul was talking about longevity. Track for a week when you get up and when you don't. I track this on my Whoop device and Aura device. Many of us are nerds. We have those, so it's good. But if you don't, when are you going to bed and when are you waking up? I can tell you a few weeks ago when I did 17 miles, it was really hard because the 2 days of the week I stayed up to watch NCAA basketball games. So really understand your circadian rhythm. It's really an important part, and it's why I scream about time changes. Because everybody I'm working with, I get them finally getting the energy and optimized, and then we change the damn time, right? So I'm fighting that, but that's on a different level. So tool number 1 is 7 P's reminder. Tool number 2 is second brain. And tool number 3 is circadian rhythm. Understand what's happening with that. So your challenge today is to find one area of your life where you're operating from lack. And journal how you can reframe it into abundance. I guarantee there's something. I know for me there is. I'm dealing with a couple business issues, and I've got some lack thoughts. And I just need to reframe it, right? And your reminder is prosperity is already inside of you. We're just organizing it today. You need to let it out. Let's make this happen. And if you're struggling with this, let's share it in the community. One of the big shares that I got years ago was Randy Gage, who's a prosperity teacher, one of my friends. He's also big in the MLM business. He's a speaker. I've known Randy for years. He said one time he got into this thing with bills, and bills were really bringing him down. He didn't want to pay bills. And he had a meeting, and he was reading an old book, and it said bills are blessings. And he went with his assistant, and he said, you know what? Bills are blessings. We got this. We're going to change this. And it was his biggest prosperity gain. Like everything started to shift. And when he was paying the bill, instead of negativity, he started to say they're blessings. That's the mental shift. That's what I want you to focus on your health and finances and wealth. Those are prosperity areas that we want to work on together here. Okay, so we're here for you. Stop by the community. Love to see you. Let's keep the energy positive, and let's get ready to start April tomorrow. I'm not going to do an April Fool's. Just FYI, I just don't do that. So just know you can come, and we're going to start a book tomorrow. We're not going to do an April Fool's joke, but we're going to have some great energy. So get the week started, and let's go do it to it. Okay, and just a reminder, if you have not joined MorningCoach.com, head over to MorningCoach.com, click that join button, and get started today with an evolutionary system that will be life-changing, a consistency system like no other in the world. We'll see you over at MorningCoach.com.